Hey there and welcome. My name is Russ Laggan. I will be your host today for the Big Agent Meeting. Today is Friday the 13th. Let that sink in. So I don't believe in luck. I believe in creating luck. And today we've got a lucky lineup of people to come with you. We've got some leaders from EXP. We've got an agent that's going to blow your mind when they do the longer segment today. They're going to be taking this business to the next level. We're going to start off with a couple of new regional directors. I can't wait to introduce them to you. And then we're going to finish off with Jill Leberknight. I have a conversation with Bryon Ellington going all the way to the next level with how to make your business a better business this year. I am super excited to watch that segment myself. So before we kick off today, I want to let you guys know something you might not know, you might not have seen. EXPCon is coming soon to a theater near you at the end of October 27th through 30th. We are going to be in Miami, Florida. If you want to hit that QR code right now, get the details, figure out what you need to do to make sure you get in that room. The things that you will see and do in Miami are going to be life-changing and business-changing. And it's not about showing up in Miami. It's about the people that you connect with, the connections that you make, and the feel that you're going to get that you're in the right place, in the right company, surrounded by the right people to support you in taking your business to the next level. So if you have not been to an EXPCon yet, you got to go. If you go because I told you to go, make sure you find me and hug me. I'm looking forward to seeing you at EXPCon coming up soon. Now, I'm starting a new segment today, and we're going to do this on a regular basis called Market Minute. And what I want to make sure we're doing as a leadership team is we're making sure that you guys know what's going on in the market because there's a lot of conflicting information. So where are we now real quick? Let me give you a quick history lesson going from 2021. In 2021, we closed 6.13 million homes in the year of 2021. Then in 2022, we closed 5.03 million homes. And then 2023, 4.09 million homes. And in 2024, right now, currently, we're tracking at 3.9, but we're probably going to end up in a 3.9 to 4.1 million homes closed this year. So what does that really mean? What that means is in a normal year, we're somewhere around 5 and 5.5 million homes. That's a pretty normal year. So if we go back in the last 18, 19, 20 years, very normalcy between 5 and 5.5, that's a normal year. So when you see 6.13, that's a lot more home sales than normal. And we were feeling it. Everybody's feeling pretty good in 2021. And then 22 comes along and you've got 1 million less homes sold, which means 1 million less closings, which means 1.5 million to 1.75 million less paychecks going into agents' pockets. And then in year 23, we've got 4 million closings, somewhere in the 4 million closing range, and checks that go along with that. So what you're seeing is a pullback in the market and checks going into the market, which means less agents are getting paid less checks and less brokerages are getting paid less checks, which means that if you're not in the right place right now, there's a lot of these brokerages that are struggling right now. We're starting to see brokerage after brokerage after brokerage and some of these large teams not being able to compete and play in this market. And the most amazing thing about EXP is it is scalable, and we've proven that it is sustainable in even a market like this. So EXP is the right place to be for you because it is sustainable, because it is a place that you're going to be able to stay. We don't have to change stuff to keep moving along. And that's a good thing for you guys. So with that being said, last piece of information that I think you guys need to know is right now we're at a 4-month supply of homes. Nationally, we're at a 4-month supply of homes. If you don't know what your month supply of homes is in your market and in your state, you want to look that information up. You want to know that stuff off the top of your head. And in this scenario, 6-month supply of homes is a good balanced market. So from a national standpoint, we're still a seller's market, not as hardcore seller's market as it was at 2-month and sub 2-month supply of homes, but we're still a seller's market in this market. So look up your numbers, get familiar with what's going on in your market, see how that compares to the national, and that'll give you more stuff to talk about and more information to help people understand why you are the expert for them. So knowing your market information is key to you looking, sounding, and getting paid like a real estate expert. Hope you enjoyed the Market Minute. We're going to keep on doing those and hope we get you guys information that you need to take your business to the next level. So with that said, I would like to start up with introducing to you 3 new gentlemen. All of them started in this role, Regional Director of Growth. We interviewed dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people to come to these 3 gentlemen we have today. And you saw some others last week, and you're going to see a couple more next week. Joe Wilson, Scott Colbert, and Keith Everitt. Come on down, guys. All right, there you go.
Everybody.
Welcome. All right, so first things first, I want to make sure we're clear on this. Some people will say, wow, corporate's really building out the regionals and building out their growth team? And the answer to that is yes. And the also answer to that is we're actually building this team to help support you guys. This isn't to replace you guys. This is to add more support and more strength behind you guys, because we know right now in this market, and based on the info I just told you, we've got big teams and big brokerages all looking around right now trying to figure out how to survive in this environment. So we are picking up and adding brokerages and adding teams. And we just added a really big one out of Maryland last week. We've got 2 or 3 more really huge ones coming up in the very near future that we're excited about. And these guys are here to help support you guys in that initiative. So let me just start off real quick. Scott Colbert, tell us a short history of your background and what the market is you're working.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thanks, Russ. First of all, thanks for the opportunity to be on the show and see everybody. So currently I'm serving Region 3, which is Arizona, Hawaii, and Nevada. I actually came out of the managing broker role in Arizona, so know that area quite well. My background, so I've got about 25 years in the industry, full-time, second-generation realtor. Pretty much done everything. I mean, I've sold anything you can imagine. So a lot of experience as far as that goes, very unique opportunities there. I have worked in multiple markets. I've worked in California, Montana for a lot of years. I've sold properties in Wyoming, a bunch of stuff in Arizona. So you name it, I've done it. I've been a franchise owner. I've been a productivity coach, VP of sales. I mean, my real passion has been about, helping agents succeed. Once I found I believe my real calling of helping agents, really become successful in this industry, I just never looked back. So real excited to be here at EXP.
Super fantastic. As you guys can tell just based off that list, he comes very, very highly qualified. A lot of people don't understand how important it is to understand how different markets function, and working in different markets is really challenging, because you might think, well, real estate is real estate, right? Completely different in different markets. So you really have to have the ability to understand what the keys and the metrics are. So I'm glad you came to us with that experience. Good stuff. Joe Wilson.
Thank you.
Joe Wilson, give us a quick history. Where did you come from and how did you get here?
Russ, my man, thank you for having me on. The journey has been crazy. I know for most of us, right? I've been on this journey for a little bit over 11 years. I was with the Red Kool-Aid Company for 8 of those years, and saw the light 3 years ago. So I know there's probably some folks listening on that same journey. So started out as just a new agent, was able to crush the production role, which was awesome. And then just accidentally really almost fell into a coaching type of role and just got that coaching bug. Love serving people, love helping people realize their full potential. And then was able to serve as CEO, some team leader, agent attraction type of things. Love that space. And then I've been doing that with EXP for the last 3 years, just coaching, serving, training, and helping folks do and build what they want to build. So it's been amazing, Russ.
Fantastic. Yeah. And where do you live?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am in Region 2, guys. I am in Region 2. I am the Regional Growth Director, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska. So representing the PNW.
Yeah, Pacific Northwest, one of my favorites. It's funny, I've got a gift from a person up in the Northwest. Tim Cornwell gave me a T-shirt, and it's got PNW and a compass sign, and everybody's like, what is that? I'm like, that's Pacific Northwest, baby.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places on the earth.
And all the PNW folks know how awesome it is out here.
Yeah.
If you want to visit, we'd love to have you.
You got to stop telling people about it. That's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing.
I know, right? Yeah.
I'm kidding. It's a great place, and you guys are happy to go. All right, Keith Everitt, last but not least, man, you came to us with a ton of experience and a ton of knowledge base. I'm so glad to have you as part of the team. Why don't you give us a little history of your background?
Yes, sir. Certainly. I was born and raised in Florida, and I got to the Rocky Mountains as soon as I could. I live in Western Colorado now. I'm a mountain boy for sure. I belong to Region 4. That's Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, and my home, Colorado. Love the opportunity. Such a similar story. I mean, I used to recruit for a red company and recruit for a blue company. Now I'm attracting to EXP. I'm so stoked to be working with all these new regional directors with so much talent and knowledge. The idea of servant leadership has always been important to me. I've done my stints as the red, CEO, team leader guy, and regional director, and all these other things. But the feeling here with this crew is incredible. I came from the broker ops side. I was Colorado managing broker for the last 2.5 years, and the synergies that we're going to get creating between broker ops and between growth are going to be awesome.
Good. I think, it's interesting because with Scott and Keith, they both put their hands up and said, hey, I'd like to have a conversation about this role. And one of the first questions I asked you guys is like, why are you leaving the broker role? And really for both of you guys, it was that you really are a growth mindset person, and that broker role is a lot more in EXP, more of a compliance related thing versus the out hunting and chasing agents and building the building thing really doesn't get done by the brokers in this business, because quite frankly, we've got a bunch of agents and a bunch of deals and a bunch of files. So you don't get to go out and do that hunt part that you loved. And it is kind of interesting when you meet growth people, you can't pull it out of them, right? It's obvious that they've got growth built into them, and you can't get it out of them no matter what role you put them in. They want to get out there and do that forward-facing hunting thing. Yeah. Joe Wilson, let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Attraction. Okay. So you guys are going to be focused on supporting agents with attraction. So if they've got somebody and they need a little bit of an assistance, you're the guy they're going to put in. Like, what are a couple of the key things about attraction that are important for agents to know?
Well, I think some of the important things about revenue share is understanding that it is a vertical integration into their business. And we're always talking about production. I'm always coaching and teaching and training about production. How can we make that better in your life? Because that is that meat potatoes. Yeah. However, through that credibility, through that production, that will automatically trickle into revenue share opportunities. And nice. So when those opportunities come, we want you to feel that you're not alone. You don't have to know every question. You don't have to know every nook and cranny of EXP. Bring us in, bring the growth directors in that will know some of those minutiae, some of those detail ideas, and let us be your leverage and be a really true business partner to you and help you build what you want to build.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me drag you back here for a second. So basically you told us there's two equations here. You got the houses equals cash, which most people are doing. And then You've got this people equals cash, which is that revenue share component and meeting those people. So You're saying basically this one actually can flow into this one automatically. So focus on selling houses for most of you guys. And then this opportunity will come along, and you're not alone. You got Joe now.
and Russ, I'd like to give you full credit for this, right? Russ is amazing. He does what he does. And, a lot of real estate agents, they say, well, Joe, with this production and revenue share, like, am I going to have to take away from my production to focus on this? Well, the true answer is no, especially since you've got a team, you got the growth directors, you've got team services, you got so many amazing people behind the scenes that want to help you get to that goal that you want to accomplish for you and your family, which is super impressive to me to see how that works.
Good stuff. So Scott, attraction. Like, you've done it a bunch, man. You've done it at a bunch of different levels in a bunch of different directions. Like, what should people be looking at with attraction? Like, where do you think there's going to be an opportunity for the average person?
Yeah, thanks, Russ. So I think the biggest opportunity, for the average person is just to kind of like Joe said, it's not to try to like reinvent anything. Just go out and do what you're good at. You're naturally going to attract people into your business just by being successful, just by being out there. You always hear the term, don't be a secret agent. Don't be afraid to tell people what you do and what you're excited about. Show them what you love and just lead by example. And you're going to naturally attract people that are curious, especially in this current environment. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of folks out there that are a little bit scared as we evolve into this next chapter of real estate. And they're looking for their forever home, so you definitely want to get out there and show them the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've got a really unique opportunity right now. I love this time of year for agents because you've got the ability to literally just pick up the phone and say to an agent something as simple as, hey, I'm going to EXPCon in Miami. I can get you a free ticket. If I could get you a free ticket, would you join me? And you're going to get a bunch of people who are like, why would I do that? But it's the simple act of inviting the people You might be shocked right now. Some of these people that have gone through some of this stuff, you're going to have some people say, you know what? Maybe I do want to go. So cool part about EXPCon this year is we have the matching EXPCon guest pass. So you basically buy one, get one. So if you have your ticket, you can bring one person that has a matching ticket. So if you show up and you drop a VIP ticket, so you get access to everybody, including all of us, for VIP lunches and so forth. If you pop a VIP ticket, your guest can come in and have a VIP ticket for no charge to them. Okay, that's 1-to-1. So opportunity for you guys to go out and invite somebody. All right, Keith Everitt, attraction. You're getting back to it. Like, what would you tell people to be doing? Come on, baby.
Well, one of the things that I like to always keep in mind is keep it simple, stupid. Don't try to, reinvent the wheel. Have open conversations, ask open-ended questions, and learn about the people. Don't go in and just throw up all of EXP on them. You got to learn about them, build rapport with them, and see what they need, and if we're even a fit. So, the biggest strength for our company is that our agents are our evangelists, and if you know a basic idea of what the plan is, the platform, and the support that we have, and you could talk about those and see that you have someone that might be a fit, then you get us on the phone with you. And then we sit down, we'll go through it with you, with your person that you want to sponsor, and have great conversations about where the strengths are with EXP that fit for this person's business model.
Yeah. So let's give them, I'm going to give them some specific verbiage just off of what you said, because a lot of people right now be like, all right, cool. Well, how do I approach that? Right. So first question I want for you guys is, if you could have one of these guys help you with closing some of this stuff, do you think you'd be in a better spot to close some stuff? I'm going to tell you yes, because these guys have a ton of experience doing it. So you got to be able to put them in. So here's the simplest question. Write this down. Easy. If I could get you on a Zoom or a call with a regional growth director to help you figure out whether this is the right decision for you and help you make the best decision, would you take that call? That simple question, easiest thing in the world. If they say yes, then the next thing you're going to do is get them some basic EXP education. So they see the EXP explained basics, so they know what they're getting into in the first place. So we don't want to start like, I've never heard of EXP. I don't know anything about it. Let's start from scratch. So get them a little bit of basic education with the EXP explains that are out there, and you can find them in Workplace, and then get them set up with one of the regional growth directors to be able to have that conversation and help you take it to the next level. The other great part, guys, is you can be on the Zoom with them and watch how they do what they do and steal their stuff. How's that? Right? Just be a fly on the wall. Like, I want somebody to show me how to do this instead of having to flail your way through this. So big or small, typically we're looking at trying to find more, higher producing agents, teams, and brokerages. That's our main focus. But for right now, if you guys get that one person just to get to know Scott, bring him one human. Let him show you how to do it, and then you guys can take it from there. Sound fair? All right, great. So Scott, last word. We got about a minute and a half left. What do you got? Last words.
Last words. I mean, hey, bring us, anybody and everybody that you think has an interest. You never know unless you ask. Ask good questions, listen intently, bring us those folks. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of good people in this industry that need us. I mean, they really need direction. They need the support and training that we offer and the future that we can provide. So get out there and bring them to us.
Outstanding. Joe.
I would just say we are ready, willing, and able. And, this whole thing is about you and your family, all of our families, to accomplish what we want to accomplish. And we do that together. And so bring us in, help us be your business partner to accomplish what you want to accomplish. And like Russ said, I think those odds go up, and it's an amazing thing when a plan comes together.
Beautiful. Keith.
Fun, man. You got to have fun. If you don't have fun, you're not going to do it. And it's just like your main lead generation sources for listings or buyers. I mean, you're going to be more successful when you're having fun. So create a little bit of fun atmosphere with this growth component. We're all pretty fun guys. And I know these guys are all real funny as well. So just let us help you out, because you're more attractive to people if you are happy and having fun, and it'll really serve you well in your rev share goals.
Yeah, I think when I was brand new in the business, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was having a great time. I think that's how I got here. Really. In the book Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker, he has this conversation. It goes very simply like this. I'll summarize it for you guys, like Cliff Note style. He says, people are saying, when I get this or I do this, then I'll be happy. And the reality is, if you focus on happy first, you're more likely to get that. So focus on the happy part, enjoy the ride part, and then the rest of it starts to take care of itself. So it makes it a ton easier. So with that said, guys, I couldn't be any more proud to have you on my personal team, working along with, and also Matt that they met last week. So guys, next level, it starts now. And you guys have these guys on your team now too. So thanks for all you do, guys. I'll see you on the other side.
Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. After interviewing dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people and dozens and dozens and dozens of additional resumes, we've got people with experience. We've got people with kind hearts, those servant-based leaders that really do want what's best for you, and they'll do whatever it takes to help you get what you want. So I've surrounded myself with those people because that's how I want to roll too. Let's take care of you. We want to win, and we're going to win by helping you win. You first. Let's go. That's how we roll. So with that said, don't hesitate to reach out to any of those guys. All right, here's one of my favorite parts of the show where I get to talk to the one and only Bryon Ellington. Come on down, brother.
Hey, good morning, Russ. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. So what's it like in the life of Chief Learning Officer these days?
Yeah, very busy, very fun. I can't tell you how many amazing agents have been reaching out to myself and Candice Garcia and the entire university team saying, hey, do you need somebody to speak at EXPCon? Do you need somebody to speak at EXPCon? And the answer, what's happening?
That's happening to you too?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. And hey, delightfully so, because it just means that we have an amazing lineup to select from to make sure that we've got amazing people. By the way, I know you talked about EXPCon. Man, 100 breakout sessions. 100 breakout sessions. Amazing. This is triple what we've done in the past, with 10 tracks. So we've done it in tracks. The reason why we did so many is because we did a luxury track, we did a commercial track, we did tracks that we call accelerator for newer agents. We do an ICON track, a team track, and a traction track as well that I know your team's going to be helping with. So just amazing, talented agents who are just going to be spilling beans about everything that they're doing. So I'm really excited about that.
That's amazing.
Hey, you said something. You talked about the difference between being happy and becoming happy, right? And it kind of ties into a thought I was having earlier as I was thinking about what we're doing right now. The idea that comparison is the killer of joy.
Agreed.
Comparison is the killer of joy, and usually it's because we compare our reality. And the negative sides oftentimes of that reality with our misperception of others' reality. And the idea here is, really compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Are you getting better? Not to someone who appears a certain way to you today. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and are you getting better? And really, EXPCon, great opportunity for you to come learn how to get better, right? And if you're telling yourself, well, I don't have the money for the ticket, or I can't afford the ticket, you can't afford it if it's an expense. If you treat it like an investment and really work the networking aspect of it for agent referrals and really focus on the holes in your business and what you're trying to plug and get better at, that's an investment, friends. And you can always afford an investment, especially in your business. So speaking of, hey, thank you very much, Randy. Speaking of leveling up, on Monday of next week, we've got 2 level up sessions, one with Aaron Hinden, and he's doing a mindfulness for real estate professionals. Awesome session. Monica Weekly is coming back, and she's doing the power and strategic questions. And that's a great session.
Love that.
On Tuesday, we've got open houses as part of Kickstart. Team leaders. We've got an amazing monthly series going on called Team Mastery that we do each month. Yeah, there you go. 3rd Monday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern. This week, outstanding buyer value proposition for your team. I just had the prep call with David Mount and Chris Craddock, the leaders of the Redux Group. They're going to come on. They're going to share their buyer value proposition and how they talk about it, and team leaders, how they make sure that their buyer specialists on their team are really great at expressing and understanding their value and being able to share that with buyers. Then on Thursday, the one and only Seth Siegler, our Chief Intelligence Officer, is going to come on EXP Masterclass. There he is. Yes. And he's going to talk about AI strategies. He's going to share some tools that can drive innovation and efficiency in your business. And Seth was a very successful agent as well. So he understands not just the tech side of things, but also how to implement it in your business. And
he's
then
a great guy.
Yeah. And next week, I don't know if you're going to be hosting again with us. I love it when you do. Joe Carteret is going to be joining us. And Joe and I had an amazing conversation the other day about how his team has adapted to NAR changes. So we're going to be diving in depth on both the buy side and the list side. So I know you got to hang out in the green room with the amazing Jill Leberknight, who I know you know. So Jill is here in my hometown of Austin, Texas, the good old ATX, and she's going to come on and we're going to talk about the listing side of these NAR changes, because that's something that we really haven't, as an industry, fully settled on just yet. So we're still in flux, but Jill's going to be sharing about what she's seeing and how she's approaching it.
That is fantastic. All right. So, hey, I'm going to get out of the way, let you guys take it away. Welcome in here, Jill Leberknight. I'll see you in a couple minutes. All
right, man. See you in a bit. Jill, are you there with me? Hey, how are you doing?
Man, I've just been buzzing with all this creativity that I love seeing everyone exchange here at EXP. Chief Learning Officer. I mean, that's a title, man. I live with that curiosity of learning every day. So love this and love to be here.
Me? I want your title. First off, holistic realtor, yes, but also real estate doula is another one, right? And I absolutely love that. Now, I feel like you should be here with me in my office, or I should be there with you. But unfortunately, I live in, basically northern Mexico, and you live in southern Oklahoma, two opposite sides of the city here. But thank you so much for making time for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Always. So we were talking about this NAR settlement thing, right? And a lot of us have focused on the buy side of things. And a lot of that is because that's been the biggest change. Mm-hmm. And also that's been the most concrete in terms of what to do. The sell side of things is still a little bit nebulous. Before we jump in, though, do you want to tell everybody about yourself and your business? I'm remiss in not letting you kind of share a little bit about your bona fides, because you are an amazing realtor and an amazing asset in EXP.
Oh, well, thank you. I was thinking as I was preparing to visit some more with you today, that some of the things that we're going to talk about today and my unique approach to the listing presentation and the listing consultation developed during a last shifting market in Austin, when we were coming out of a buyer's market and into what became sort of one of the biggest booms in Austin's history. And I really kind of tuned in to what the needs of the sellers were at the time and developed this approach that we're going to talk about today. But I'm a former high school teacher, classically trained actor, singer, dancer in the theater world. But I sort of evolved and discovered real estate and discovered how I could unleash my creativity in a way that really suited me and all of the passions and curiosities that I have. Sometimes clients like to call me their best Girl Scout guide. I do call myself a real estate doula, because my holistic approach is very customer centric, very consultative. And it really grew out of me taking some quality time, in the learning, because I love learning. And in my previous brokerage, and when I came into real estate, there was a tried and true old school approach of door knocking, cold calling, get agreements and documents, contracts signed quickly, and a little bit more hard sell approach. And every fiber of my being was saying, this is not me. And I spent quality time really daydreaming about, who do I want to be? How do I want to build this business? And this holistic approach has sort of been sort of the answer, the evolution of that question that has been growing and living within me on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it's very, custom. It is holistic and looking at the whole picture of the family, of the client, of the individual, and what their goals are. It's goal oriented.
Yeah. And I think of you are an example of this kind of concept as newer agents. By the way, newer agents watching this, we all get out of real estate school, right? And there's a stark reality that hits us in the face that we were not prepared for from real estate school. We know how to fill out contracts. We know principles 1 and 2 and all that other great stuff. but the reality of the business kind of hits us in the face. And there's this kind of perception that you go, hello world, I'm a real estate agent. And then everybody's going to go, oh, well, thank God, and show up. That's not the case, right? And so we always talk about niche to get rich. And the fear that people have is, well, if I niche, then I'm going to limit my audience. And that's certainly not been the case for you. And you have tailored your approach to your market, and been very successful in doing that.
One of the things that people talk about the different secret sauce of EXP. For me, it was EXP University. That was truly the thing that led me to want to be a part of this family and community. And I was one of the first, along with Elizabeth Riley, one of the first appointed agent faculty that participated and taught in EXP University. And so I've taught my tribe marketing class for years in the ICON University. And a lot of what I have built and grown has come out of a place of really knowing what my strengths were and how I wanted to unleash my passion. And I'm community service oriented. So I taught. I went out into my community, since I have a comfort with speaking and teaching, and I taught. And I connected with the different tribes in my community and built it that way, which I always tell new agents, kind of like, know what your strengths are. Know how you just naturally enjoy engaging with the world and the people around you.
This is the coolest business there is, because really what we do for a living, aside from helping people buy a home or sell a home, is make friends and help them, right? That's a cool job to have. And you can make a lot more money than in being a teacher. I know Travis High School, by the way, English. I don't think we talked about this. We'll have to have coffee and talk some war stories.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
So let's jump in on the listing side of things. And first, let's start with kind of high level structure, so folks can follow along in our conversation here. Let's talk about your listing appointment, because you do a multi-step listing appointment, right?
Yeah.
The idea of a one and done listing appointment, where you pull comps, you come up with price range that you think is going to be appropriate to consult with your client on, to let them choose from. You go there, you do the tour, you sit down at the kitchen table, you present your value, you present the listing agreement, you walk through the pricing structure and all that. That's not how you do it. So give us high level, what's the structure of your multi-step there?
Absolutely. It's a little bit of a 1-2 punch. I do the classic research that we all do before we go into a listing appointment, to better understand the house, the neighborhood, the comps, the market, any little details that the clients may have given me prior to going to that visit. But the actual in-person consultation is very much about getting to know the people, rooting the relationship, ensuring that I establish trust. One of the things, I've been doing real estate almost 20 years, and one of the things that I learned early on is that if there is not trust in that relationship, that's not going to sustain you during the long haul. When some of these systems started to develop, we were in a little bit of we were in a buyer's market. We're going through the mortgage meltdown. That's when my business was really evolving and growing. And there was a lot of stress in that market at the time. And what I needed to have their confidence in me and our ability to work together. So the first part, the in-person consultation, is very much developing rapport, developing relationship, rooting it in establishing trust. Going into the house, sitting down, I always ask them the question, tell me a little bit about what's going on, so that I give them an opportunity to just tell me what's going on, so I can begin teaching them that I'm a good listener. That's really important to me. I want them to know that I can listen to them, because I have learned and I know how important it is for people to get their feelings and their thoughts off their chest and to feel like they had an opportunity to be heard. So I get them talking. I get them describing what they're trying to do. I'm taking notes. Sometimes I'm just full on engaged and listening. And then we get up. Okay, let's show me the house. And then we do the classic walk through the home. And that second phase of the in-person visit is them showing me, the issues and the problems about the house. And then I have an opportunity to tell stories and tell them how I know about this and how I've served people in this way. And I'm dropping, a lot of, experiences and stories and expertise where I'm showing them that I have a lot of wisdom to bring to their situation and the transition that they're facing. And that experience, walking through the house might take an hour, but it's an opportunity again to build rapport, build relationship. We might see art, or they might have opportunities to tell me about the different things that they do in their home, how they live in their home, how they engage with their family or their friends or their community, and what they're looking for in their transition or relocation. Again, it's all opportunities to show them that I'm listening, that I care, that I have ideas and options, that I'm already spinning creative wheels about what they could do. Now, as we're going through the house, I am talking about and beginning to teach them about my custom pricing and marketing report, which is the second part of the 1-2 punch that I talked about, because that's something that I deliver after our visit.
This is the part 2. You don't even get into that at the initial listing appointment.
No, not at all. Well, a little bit. I come prepared to talk about pricing because, let's be honest, every seller is going to ask the question, if you had to price the home today, or what price, they want to hear some numbers. So I come with some structure, but I want to intimately know the house. And what I tell new agents that I teach my process to is that I personally, Agent Jill, I don't believe that the best way for me to serve the client is to give them an answer on the pricing of their home that day. I don't believe that best serves them. I believe what they need is to be shown that I'm going to take quality time to give their home the best chance and the full force of my creativity. And that requires me being truly present with them in the home, discovering the home, and then going back and reevaluating the comps, reevaluating the market, and coming up with a marketing plan that really puts the best foot forward in terms of what they're trying to accomplish. And I don't give a one option. My pricing and marketing plan is going to be a three option approach, which I'll talk about. But we're going through the house, and I'm telling agents when I'm teaching this that, again, it is about building rapport, strengthening relationships, showing them that I am listening, and giving them an opportunity to be heard. Once we go through the house, we come back down and we sit down, and we talk at the table or the living room or the porch or the back playroom or media room. And I give them a little bit of a sense. Okay, now that we visited, I want them to see that I'm quickly able to communicate what I think are maybe some high level, big picture things that we should focus on. And then I start coming back into talking about goals. And we've been talking about that as we've been walking through the house. But I will come back to some goal setting. Here is my observation of some key important things that we're going to need to address in the home. And then as we sit down, I'm going to give them sort of the classic market overview, some thoughts about pricing, what statistically, analytically, numbers are displaying and presenting for the neighborhood and homes like theirs. So I am equipped. I want to make sure people know before I come into that meeting, I am equipped with, what if the home is in the best shape it could possibly be in? What are those homes selling for? I know what the high level is. I know what the low level is. I know what the obstacles are in the neighborhood. And I start to begin to weave that education in to the conversation. And the new thing that I'm starting to weave in after I go over some high level thoughts and opinions and reactions to our visit, and some ideas that I have is I ask them, I want to give you a little bit of an update on, what's going on in the Austin market right now and really in our national market. I don't know how familiar you are with recent lawsuit settlement changes, the legal activities that have been happening in the real estate industry. And then I give them an opportunity to let me know how familiar they are or are not with what's going on. And this has been really, really interesting for me when I've been posing this question and asking this question, because more people have been familiar with it than I expected.
Yeah.
And more sellers have shown me in this moment the misinformation that they are holding, the narratives.
That's the unfortunate thing, isn't it? Is that the media is talking about it and they're listening to it, but the media is talking about it in a way that sells papers and sells ads for commercials and doesn't necessarily position real estate agents in the best light. And it is, to your point, misinformation, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm really grateful between my local association, the Austin Board of Realtors, and EXP. I've been well armed. I have a good foundation of understanding of what's going on. And so I will improv in that moment, do a little improvisation and adjust based on what they're sharing with me and where they are in their level of understanding, how much I want to kind of dig down into that. What I've been sensing is that, like everything in the work that we do, it's a multi-layered education process. And so at the listing consultation, I just try to deliver some fundamentals. And I know that I'm going to have to come back in, come back in and continue to remind them and fill in some layers of understanding. So I focus on that, the goal of transparency in the process. And I'm developing new language, new scripts, new stories that we're just trying to make sure that the seller is at the center of all decision making, and that we now have some more levers to pull in the process, and to ensure that you have decisions that you and I are in alignment and clear in our goals and our decisions in the process.
Because I want to dive into there, but before I do, I want to kind of point out a few things, especially for newer agents listening, about some of the things that you just talked about. First, the whole idea of doing a multi-step listing presentation. For a lot of people, that's going to feel like, oh man, you may have missed your shot. You missed your window. That's not the case, though. And then the question is, well, why would I do that versus going for the win at the table in the first time around? Well, one of the things that you're doing is demonstrating to your sellers that you're listening, and that you're not going to rush into and force them into a price or terms and things of that nature, repairs, without really kind of listening to them first and understanding their needs, their goals, understanding the home and all the things that they've done. You talked about doing a tour, however long that's going to take. I think that's a really important thing. One of the things, though, that you said at the very beginning is you talked about asking great questions. It's an interesting thing. So you and I are both teachers, right? My foundation for teaching when I first started was, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. You're going to memorize it, and then you're going to regurgitate it on a test. Now you're going to forget about it as soon as you do. And then I went through this program. It was an MBA in entrepreneurship. And the professors were all these millionaires and billionaires. They weren't actual professors. They'd started and sold businesses. And they weren't allowed to make a statement in the classroom. They would be fired if they made a statement. They were only allowed to ask questions, right? A completely different paradigm. But it really turned me on to the 6 Socratic questions. If you're not familiar with the 6 Socratic questions, go Google it afterwards, because as a realtor, understanding how to ask powerful questions can oftentimes be the difference between A, whether or not you get the appointment, and B, whether or not you get the agreement at the appointment. So I want to dive in here back where we were just a second ago, and I want to start talking about, because you'd shared, with me in our prep call, you had shared that you were hesitant about, do I even want to bring up this whole NAR thing? But at this point, we're really kind of forced to because of the media and everything else. And by the way, agents, if you're not feeling as familiar and comfortable with talking about this, I'd really encourage you to go check out Holly and Lauren's big agent meetings that we did. There's a few of them back. You'll see their beautiful faces on the title cards, and you can dive into those. I really encourage you to go check out Holly's 2 master classes that she just did, one on buyers, one on sellers. Amazing content, really well done. She gives you great scripts. She talks you through our new forms and all of that. And by the way, you can find both of those in the Winning Clients. It's going to come out next week, I believe, from the university. But you said, you were hesitant, but now you are talking about it, and you talked about the misinformation. I'm curious, what is it that you're hearing from sellers at the kitchen table about buyer compensation, and how are they approaching it?
The consistent narrative that I've been hearing is this lawsuit was about lowering commissions.
Well, that's because that's the consistent headline in the media. I've seen that same headline over and over and over again. So what do you say to that? What's your approach?
And I always aim to just be really authentic with people and say, that's really helpful to hear. That's really helpful to hear that was a takeaway. And I try not to focus too much on where did you hear that and get in defensive mode.
Those idiots.
I try to just say, as I've been elected director at our board of realtors, and me, I'm an educator, former educator, and I love to dig into information, facts, and knowledge. And I just, sort of gently and genuinely shift it to, providing just very gentle, not accusatory, like you're wrong facts, and just gently steer it towards, the lawsuits were really based in a desire. I'm really happy that it's been based in a strong desire to provide more transparency in our contracts and in our systems. And so that's what I'm really excited about. And then it just sort of, it's not about right or wrong, because you never want to embarrass someone or make someone feel like they were stupid or wrong in a moment. And that's not, I don't blame clients, because you're right. Most of the national headlines have communicated that. So I then just quickly try to shift it to the opportunity for transparency in our new regulations and guidelines.
And in your conversations with those sellers, are they asking you, saying, I don't want to offer any compensation to the buy side or anything like that? So how do you address it, or do you address that in your conversations with them?
Yeah, it's getting harder without data. We used to be able to point to data in the MLS, but without that data, it's a little bit harder. But if anyone has ever learned or been familiar with the DISC profile, I know that it is not a be-all, end-all personality trait, characteristics for all situations. But there are some people that are a little bit more analytical. Some people are a little bit more systems. So it depends on, how maybe the client is presenting in that moment, what types of information might be more beneficial to them. I do use language that, there are some marketing strategies that are a little bit more common. I try to stay away from words like standard. But I focus on, there are marketing strategies or trends that are a little bit more common in our marketplace. And then I, again, try to shift it more towards asking them the question. That's why I love that you brought up how important asking questions are, reminding them that we're really going to need to identify what our driving need and goal is in this situation. And that's when I start wrapping in, the market issues that we're facing. And that, right now we're really in the Austin market needing to eliminate all, every objection that we can. And, if we find that not offering a compensation or an offering to a buyer agent is, preventing some sort of barrier to traffic in our home, this is a lever that we're going to want to think through. So, this what you might be hearing in terms of my hesitancy in answering this is that at the listing consultation, I am trying, other than right now in our Austin market, very clearly communicating to them that we are no longer in the seller's market that we were at during the pandemic.
No, we are
Everything
not.
else becomes I need to introduce topics to you that we will come back to and continue to educate, because there's a lot coming at them. And I know that they're not going to get everything the first time. So I want them at the listing consultation to begin to understand that agent fees is a marketing lever. It is a marketing strategy that we will talk about in our big picture goals.
Yeah. Well,
and the not getting a listing, going back to what you said, this system serves the client, in my opinion. Getting a listing agreement signed at the first consult, in my opinion, only serves the agent and their ease of administration. And that approach I learned very early on does not serve my style, my holistic approach of serving. I never want families to be faced with the pressure of having to make a decision without having a private conversation between two individuals, or an individual that wants to meditate. I'm a slow decision-making overthinker, and I respect people that give me that space. And so that is how I want to, and I have the confidence to know how I'm going to win my clients, and I want to have that ease in that meeting.
And by the way, Leo Pareja, our CEO, is going to do an upcoming class for the EXP Executive Masterclass on the DISC. So if you're not familiar with understanding that behavioral profile that Jill is talking about, do tune into that. Now, we have a luxury here in ABOR, in our MLS, that we have a yes/no option for seller concessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that we can check that box and that other agents will know at least that's an option. But there's still craziness, and even in our market, of buyers calling up even before the showing, asking, are you offering concessions, and serve your seller's fiduciary best interest in those conversations. But I want to talk before we run out of time, because I think this is really key, about these 4 options. And can you share with them, first off, what the 4 options are, and then talk about how you present them with the net sheet?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I deliver a custom pricing and marketing report for them 24 to 48 hours after our visit. And I've been talking about it at our listing appointment. And this system developed years ago in a different market, when I was getting sellers, when we were selling our homes too quickly, and I got the classic, we priced it too low. We priced it too low. And I wanted to put the control in the seller's hands on where they wanted to price. Because if you talk to a real estate attorney, they're going to say a realtor shouldn't price a home. They are there to guide.
That's right.
So I never wanted my clients to tell me again, you mispriced the home and we walked away from money because you convinced us to do something. So I have 3, sometimes 4 options. Option 1 is always my, as is. What if you didn't have any time to prep the home? And this is an email that I send out, and it's a lengthy email, and I prep it saying this is going to be your hard copy, your Bible to come back and look at and use as a 1, 2, 3 guide in your decision-making process. So I deliver this, and I spend anywhere from 2 to 4 hours working on the delivery of this, because it is my custom plan that we use as a project management guide throughout the process in our decision making. So option 1, as is. What if you didn't have any time to prep your home and you just had to slap a sign in the yard? Because sometimes we have clients that, for their reasons, don't have time to do any prep. So I always want my clients to know a worst case scenario. What if I don't want to put any time in? So that's option 1, is as is. Option 2 is a make ready option. And then I will detail out, and I'll list option 1, 530 as is. And then I'll have a net sheet for that price point that includes, agent fees, different things that we talked about. And sometimes there'll be options in there. And that there's a possibility for multiple offers at that price point. I'll list out all of that. Option 2 is the make ready. What if we just decluttered, cleaned, and prepped the house, maybe did some light repairs. Maybe there's a leaking faucet or the HVAC needs to be serviced. I'll have a price for that, net sheet, to-do list there. Sometimes I'll give a little bit of a range if I think there needs to be a little bit of a range. Option 3 might be, what if you did an interior paint and added some floors or added a new, updated counters, or put that new roof on, or fix that, maybe a bigger thing. Sometimes I only have 3 options, so the third option might be the highest one. Sometimes the fourth option is, what if you completely remodeled the house? What's the highest that you could get for your home? And sometimes that fourth option is, and I'm doing this a little bit in Austin right now, what if we held? What if we rented the house for a year? What if you short-term rented it? What if you Airbnb'd the house? And I'll give them maybe a rental price. And those will, this pricing and marketing report for me, they have met, look, you're seeing Agent Jill and her expressiveness today. They have met my heart at the in-person listing appointment. But let me tell you, Teacher Jill is very detail-oriented and is very thoughtful, very organized, very much a high C in systems. So the pricing and marketing report, they are meeting Teacher Jill. And I am telling you, my pricing and marketing report pretty much seals the deal.
Well, what you're really showing them is your expertise as a listing agent, and giving them that sort of comfort level that, man, she's really kind of thought through all the various options and is really allowing us to drive. And yet you are being that great consultative guide.
Yeah. And it's a lengthy document. It's got all the options, all the net sheets. It's got a to-do list. I'm laying out my creativity and marketing plan, or I might talk about my different staging ideas. If they need contacts for repairs, I've got my handyman's. They get this like giant report and then they choose. Usually I get an email back from them within a day or two that says, they don't even say we're hiring you. They email me back and say, we're going with option 2. We need help with this. And we just jump in. Okay. Then I shift into contract, and then we go from there.
Different approach than a lot of folks are classically trained on, but a very effective approach, as your track record proves. Well, Jill, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this. Let's go grab coffee and talk about our teacher war stories. I've got a few. I'm sure you do too.
Thank you so much.
Friday to you. Thank you. All right, Russ, back over to you, my friend.
Righty. Good job, Jill. Amazing. I love that last part. Give them 4 options and let them choose their own thing, and then just the price that goes with it. That makes perfect sense. It's a brilliant way to approach that. I don't think I've ever heard that one before either, by the way. So brilliant. Very well done. Good. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. By the way, just so you know, ZenList is part of EXP in pushing EXP exclusives. If you want to scan the QR code, there is a training next week on EXP exclusives that you guys want to be a part of. EXP exclusives is basically internal EXP only MLS that gives you the ability to have things that other people don't when they sit at the listing table. Like Jill Leberknight was just saying, hey, what if you had the ability to put this in an exclusive internal MLS and try to get your property sold for top dollar before it even has to go out into the open market and have to have people tromping through your home. Some people are going to take that and run with that. Also gives you the ability to do some pre-marketing to build up buzz for a property coming live. So hit that QR code. That'll give you information so you can register for EXP exclusives. This is next week, so you guys want to make sure you do it now. Wednesday, September 18th, 3 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be worth your while. Show up there. You're going to love this tool if you don't already know everything about it. Okay, there you go. So last up, we have a partnership with the topic in KGCI Radio. Sorry, I'm a little messed it up here. KGCI Radio. Take a breath. Real Estate on Air's Mindset. You've got Gogo Bethke, Aaron Hendon, Jessica Nieto, and many, many more to help you overcome the challenges and crush your goals this year and this week. Tune in all week for insights from top agents on leveraging NAR settlement and to grow your business. And you can finish off the week next week with Real Estate On Air's Friday focus on lead generation. Discover the latest tools and top influencer agents to help you grow their business, grow your business. All right. And there you go, guys. Lesson learned. Even though you do this all the time, sometimes you just get tongue-tied. It's all right. Just take a breath. Move on. It's not the worst thing that can happen to you. It's no big deal. Happens to all of us. So QR code, if you want to give me a critique and say, hey, Russ, man, you really messed up that end. Hit the QR code, pull your phone out right now. Give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know what you love about the show. Let us know if there's anything we can improve, like the ending that I just did there. We'll get better next week on that one. So I want to say happy Friday the 13th. Make it the best Friday 13th ever. And we'll see you guys next week on Big Agent Meeting.